Hello and welcome to Universal Studios Hollywood. We have a lot of updates with Halloween Horror Nights, Super Nintendo World, so let's just get in and start with Halloween Horror Nights. Starting with this faraway maze, which now has what looks to be maybe the beginnings of some fake grass or some sort of turf that will be placed outside the front of this house. They did add some glass in the second story window. You can see it's kind of cracked a little bit. The wagon is still here, as is the well. This is the side of the maze over here. In the middle, we still have the Jurassic World Dominion backsplashes. Now, my guess is this is probably for either an in-park event or this is for the premiere they're going to have down Hollywood Boulevard. They're just building and storing it here, and then they will bring it out to Hollywood Boulevard because it's only 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away. Now, coming over here to the rumored Halloween maze, and we now have what looks to be some sort of platform riser out front, which is going to be like the front step or front porch to whatever the house is. You can kind of see a little bit inside there. Let's zoom in a little bit. This is all for scare actor access. This isn't an entrance or exit, but not much to see here from the side, and not much to see here on the side either. Now let's head to the top of the Curious Storage parking structure to get an overhead view. Here we are at the top of the Curious Storage parking structure. We actually have one car here, but the rest is empty. Now let's check down at the mazes. Here's kind of an overview look, just so you can see the layout of where things are. Here's the Jurassic World kind of in the middle, and then over on the far side is that house. We don't know what it'll be. Maybe it's for Nope, the Jordan Peele movie. More on that later. And here in front of us is the Halloween house. Now let's head to Universal City Walk Hollywood for some updates. And here we are at the former Hard Rock Cafe, looking at the Toothsome Chocolate Emporium and Savory Feast Kitchen wall, where there's been a lot of progress in recent weeks with the chimneys on the side and the scaffolding going up on this side, and all the groundwork, of course. The biggest progress in the last week has been on the inside. Let's zoom in a little bit. So looking here on the inside, you can see that they have built a second level, almost like a platform right there through the front doors. And that previously was just for seating, but you can see it's taken over the whole left side of the restaurant. And there is steps right here in front, and over past that column on the right, there is a ramp. It's kind of hard to see on the camera. It's very nice seeing how fast the interior is progressing. Now let's check a little bit down City Walk for some other updates. The first being that Blaze Pizza and Starbucks Coffee are still closed. Now, not much else is going on here at City Walk, so let's just head into the park. I'm not the only one coming in today. Unfortunately, my microphone just broke, so I'm sorry if the audio sounds a little bit weird. You can see the loads of people coming in behind me, and I'm gonna do something that I've not done in a little while, which is instead of going to the lower lot, instead of going to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which I'm passing now, it appears to be empty, I am going to go to the studio tour. I love rope dropping attractions that no one rope drops, because then you get your preference of seat, you get to experience something that a lot of people don't experience, which is an empty attraction, and it's just really fun. First one in the studio tour, and it looks like we are electric today. In the queue, they're showing a preview for Jurassic World Dominion. That's new. It's coming out this week. A huge thank you to Juan over at the studio tour for not just giving me the last row on the last car, but the entire last car to myself. I'm the only person in this car. You know I love to be in the last row because I get to see a lot. On this tour, we're going to look at the Creative Campus construction, Super Nintendo World, a new Horror Nights maze that popped up just in the last week, and Nope. Yeah. We think that Western Town at the end of the tour is Nope. We'll look at that in a bit. Let's start with the Creative Campus construction. But before even getting to the Creative Campus, looks like Dino has a fun Memorial Day hat on. And here's our look at the Creative Campus.
built in 1929.
Pretty exciting.
It's the stage where we
Now,
talk
right
about
next to the Creative Campus, of course, is Super Nintendo World. And back here is either the restaurant or the interactive area. And it looks like the Mario Kart building is closed, but we still have over here on the left side, what is that? It is a new Halloween Horror Nights tent. Let's get a little closer. Now, this is the side of Transformers, and this tent popped up just in the last week. You can already see a layout kind of on the floor. This showed up so quick. That's Transformers show building right there, and then the building kind of behind it is Revenge of the Mummy. We have a new video on the tram for Rutherford Falls starring Ed Helms, and it looks like here in Courthouse Square, they're doing something towards the back corner. Here in the picture cars section, we have a brand new car. This is exciting. This is from Angeline, which is a new Universal show. It's, I can't quite tell what kind of car that is. I think this is also a new sign saying Vehicle Lot A. That's because they have added a second vehicle lot over by the Bates Motel that was added shortly after they got rid of the How the Grinch Stole Christmas set. And here we are in Little Europe looking at the back sound stages, which don't seem to have too much progress in the last week. Right now, all the work is being done inside except for paint being done on the outside. There's supposed to be a flood here and the water just stopped. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on. Cool.
Are you all right? The shark ate him. Yay!
And here we are outside the blue screen lake looking at the Western town. Now, the rumor is that this is going to be part of the studio tour. In fact, you can see right here a path that looks to be about the width of a studio tour. And here's a back view, and I think we also need to go up to the parking structure. So let's head up there right now. Future Jake here at the top of a very empty ET parking structure. And now let's look over the edge at the Western town. Here's kind of a wide view where you can see the tour kind of wraps around and then enters the Fast and the Furious facade over to the right-hand side. Now, what's interesting looking at this is that the pathway in the middle of the town, to me, looks wide enough for a tram, which makes me think that they are rerouting the tram permanently, or at least for Horror Nights, we don't know. Now, the ongoing rumor for this town, which seems to make a lot of sense, is that it is based on the Jordan Peele movie, Nope. Makes a lot of sense to me. Of course, open it for Terror Tram, keep it through the rest of the year. These do not look like temporary settings. If they were, they'd just be front facades. These look like maybe even something you could walk around if it was part of Terror Tram. But whatever it is, this has to be part of the tram, right? Like, look how wide these pathways are. Anyway, back to Jake on the studio tour. Looking here at the back of Fast and the Furious Supercharged, it looks like we still have those specs on the right side of the screen. And again, this is not a problem with the glass in front of us. It's actually a problem with the projection above us. I don't know if you can see those blue specks on the screen. Those are dead pixels. Here we are at the back of the Curious George parking structure looking at Horror Nights tent. Here's a look at that first tent, and here is a look at the rumored Halloween tent. And first one off the tram as always, but there's no one behind me because I have the whole car to myself. Heads up. Always get the last car on the tram. Okay, now I'm thinking we're gonna head towards the lower lot, check on some Super Nintendo World construction, and then we're gonna come up to the upper lot, and we have a lot of Horror Nights construction to check out. And here I am from the Starway with the sound stages behind me. This is just an aerial view to what we already got. And here's a look at the Warner Brothers campus construction, which appears to just be moving very, very slowly. Now, let's look at Halloween Horror Nights. So the first thing we can see looking at the Universal Monsters Legends Collide maze is the construction is now moved outside the front of the maze. Yes, we have additional theming on the maze with those ropes connected to the platforms and what appears to be a giant chain hanging from the top. But we now have a platform out in front. This seems to be a reoccurring theme with the houses this year, as they are building in front of the facade to help with the theming. It just adds to the house. Now you can also see the second Horror Nights house, the one that was behind Transformers that we saw from the tour. Yeah, you can see that here too. Not much you can see here, but it's here. Now, let's look at Super Nintendo World, because Super Nintendo World has seen the biggest update, at least in the last couple weeks. Starting over on the left side of the land, we now have more theming elements to be added. Some additional boxes have popped up. Right underneath Bowser's Castle, speaking of boxes, we now have a big blue box, a red box, and a yellow box. I think this is going to house either a piranha plant or some sort of interactive element. Moving over to the right a little bit on Bowser's Castle, which now has horns, very exciting, they've been revealed, and some of the theming on the turrets has been revealed as well, the spikes on the top. They did add a Bowser's Castle crest to the front. Now they're going to be adding Bowser's head to the front of the attraction. That'll be coming soon. Moving to the right a little bit, we still have that door open. I have no idea what that leads to. Let me know if you think you know. And to the right a little bit, we have those two blue boxes, which have gotten a little bit more vivid in the last week. And to the right a little bit more, past Peach's Castle, the warp pipe has been completely covered up. We're going to see that from the lower lot as well. So lots of stuff to look at from up here in the Starway. We'll get a better look at Super Nintendo World in a little bit from Super Silly Funland. But now, let's just go to the lower lot. Here at the last Starway, before heading to the lower lot, here's a look at Bowser's Castle with that crest, the new spikes and horns that were added just in the last week. And of course, the studio store, which is going to change over to a Super Nintendo World store. The gash in the wall has gotten a lot bigger just in the last week. I have a feeling like we're going to see a lot more progress very, very soon. What's also neat is Blue is doing a meet and greet. Now, while I don't think I'm going to head on Jurassic World the ride, I did want to head into Jurassic Outfitters because there are some new clothing items I wanted to check out. So what do we have that's new? First, we have this shot glass. We have this BioSign t-shirt that's pretty new, along with a mug that corresponds to the logo. We have two new shirts for Jurassic World Dominion, and on the flip side we have that same shirt along with a Jurassic World sweatshirt. Pretty new stuff. It's fun hanging here at the base of the drop because you get to see people as they get off and are just absolutely soaked. Here they are.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
It would seem so. Nice to meet you, my friends. I'll see you in the battlefield.
And here's our look at the Super Nintendo World warp pipe from the side of The Mummy and Transformers The Ride 3D, where, yes, it has been covered up in tarp, but the bigger news is that they've finally replaced the sign. Instead of saying coming in 2023, we now know it is coming in early 2023, as we already expected. They are just moving ahead very quickly with this land. I also still think that there might be some previews towards the end of this year, maybe. That would be really cool. We'll see. Not a crazy amount to see through the tarp on this side. Through the left side on the Studio Cafe, you can see that not much has changed behind the tarp. You still have that blue wall. Maybe we'll see some updates next week. I'm not sure. Other than that, not a crazy amount that I can do here on the lower lot. So I'm gonna head to the upper lot, ride a ride maybe, and check out some Horror Nights construction and some more Super Nintendo World construction. And here we are at the upper lot. And before even checking out Halloween Horror Nights, I'm gonna head into Mel's Diner to check out a brand new beverage that just started this month. And the beverage is only available if you ask for it. It's not on the menu, and it's only for annual pass holders. Well, that's just such a bummer. I waited in line about 5-ish minutes. There was a big group in front of me, and they were all out of the beverage. They don't know when they're getting it back. And what stinks is not that they were out. You know, Universal runs out of stuff all the time. They're out of the new Minions popcorn bucket. It's that I just got an email yesterday telling me to come into the park and get that beverage. I was really excited for it. But you know what else was on that email is the new Jurassic World pass holder magnet. So I will definitely be getting that. And we're right next to the Parisian Courtyard maze, so let's check out construction there. So this is the La Llorona maze inside of the Parisian Courtyard. Here's what it looks like from the front. It has gotten a lot more weathered over the last week, a lot more cracks and aged look to it. Here's a look from the left side on Pet's Place. Again, not much to see here, nor is there much to see here in the back outside of Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. And here's an entrance from the side outside of the splash area in Super Silly Funland. But you know, it is right next door is the former smoking section. So let's head there to check on some Super Nintendo World. Now here at the top of the former smoking section, let's look down at Super Nintendo World. We point out from the lower lot all of the new additions, but one thing to look at here is all of the protruding details from the wall. You can start to see the shadows come out, so you can see just how textured these walls are, which is really cool. It is not just painting. Now, one thing I didn't notice is to the left of Super Nintendo World, outside of the Lancashire gate, there's a giant hole in the ground. Now, when I used to work on the lot, this used to be where the studio commissary was. There was a little restaurant down there. I don't know if that's still what it is now. I haven't worked on the lot for 7-8 years, but if that's gone, that would mean we're hopefully getting a new restaurant in the Creative Campus. That's pretty cool. But right now it's just a giant hole in the ground, so that's going to be something we can start to check on each week to see as that progresses what that's going to be. And as I say every time I leave the former smoking section, don't smoke, it kills you. Wait times at 11:17 a.m. Forbidden Journey 75 minutes, Hippogriff is 50, Ollivander's 15, Studio Tour 35, Secret Life Pets is 45, Despicable Me is 45, Simpsons is 60, Kung Fu Panda 15, everything in the lower lot is 40, and Waterworld and Animal Actors are happening around the same time in about 40 minutes. So as it turns out, the annual pass holder magnet is not here at the Universal Plaza, but it is at the Universal Studio Store. So here's a look at the magnet that they give you. It's free. I just needed to show my pass, so I guess I could come back another day and get another one, but I'm fine with one. I'm a big Jurassic Park and Jurassic World fan, so much so that I'm actually going to an event later today that'll be up on the channel later this week that is for Jurassic World Dominion. It's going to have a bunch of fan-made Jurassic Park vehicles. It's also sponsored by Walmart, so there's going to be a lot of cool merch there and toys and interactive experiences, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel to check that out. Here inside the studio store, you can see right behind me is where they're setting up for the new Super Nintendo World permanent section. This will hopefully open soon. It's been under construction for about a month now, and look forward to seeing a new permanent home for Nintendo merchandise. Moving from Super Nintendo World to Waterworld right behind me. That super cringe transition, sorry about that. Where looking through the door, you can just see walls have popped up. This is probably going to be our last time looking through the door on this one because we're not going to see much changes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this construction update. I will see you guys in the next one.